Now we are going to start with the third type of the defect, that is non-stoichiometric defect. So obviously it is just going to disturb the stoichiometric of the whole crystal. That means, like when I say that it is going to disturb the stoichiometric for the whole crystal, it means that we are going to see this defect at large number of sites. We are going to see the irregularities at large number of sites. So as far its subtypes are concerned, so non-stoichiometric defect is divided into two categories. One is metal in excess, other is metal in deficient. Right. So that means when we what are the reasons that we get to see this thing, the defects or the irregularities occurring at large number of sites. That is, when the metal is in excess, we have a state like this, and we do have a state where the metal is deficient in nature. That means metal is deficient somehow. So first we are going to start with the metal in excess. That means, as the name suggests, that means we will see an irregularity where the metal ions, that means the positively charged ions will be in excess, right. So what happens? So again this metal in excess is divided into two categories. One is the anionic vacancy, that is, this is the effect which we get to see when the metal is in excess. That means the anion vacancy, there is no anion. That means, as we know that molecule solid is, the crystal is according to that neutrality is maintained, number of positive charge is equal to the number of negative charge. But somehow due to some reasons we will be discussing, we get to see anionic vacancy, that means the number of negative ions just fall, right. So obviously the number of positive ions will increase, so that means obviously the metal is in excess. And secondly is that we get to see a state where the cation is in excess, that means the metal is in excess, and the reason behind that I am going to discuss now, right. So I think it is clear that in the non-stoichiometric defect, that means the large number of sites will suffer the irregularities. So it suffered those kind of irregularities when the metal in excess or the metal is in deficient state. And when we say metal in excess, that means the number of metal ions just exceed the normal value. The reason can be negative ions are less, or the reason can be the positive ions are more, right. Now what are the reasons? Just look at the board. So first we are starting with the anionic vacancy, right. As the name suggests, that means negative ions are missing. Negative ions are missing. See, so how it happens? Again it is observed in the ionic solids. So suppose I take an example of NaCl. So that means it is formed of Na positive and Cl negative. I am going to draw a crystal for it in order to make you understand in a better way. So the big ones are my Cl negative, all are Cl negative, and in middle they have the cations. I am making them smaller, right, because cation are somehow smaller than the anion, you know that. So this is what I have, right. Now for this anionic vacancy or for this non-stoichiometric defect, what we are doing, suppose I am heating this crystal, I am heating this crystal, right. So when I heat it, that some of the Na positive ions become somehow sodium vapors, they become sodium vapors. So I say they are actually vapors, they have escaped to atmosphere, but still we assume that some of the sodium are in contact with the crystals. Some of the sodium are just above the crystal, you can say that they are touching the surface. So when these vapors are touching the surface, then what happens? This Cl negative ion is somehow get attracted towards this vapor. Again, I am just applying heat. Some of the sodium ions, they get vaporized, forming the vapor, that is the Na vapor. So few vapors escape, but the few vapors are still in contact with the crystal, right. So they are in contact with the crystal, or you can say they are just above the surface of the crystal. So when they are just above the surface of the crystal, they are attracting the Cl negative ions towards itself, right. So this Cl negative ion, as it is oppositely charged and it has a great affinity to combine with Na, so it somehow gets leave its space and escape and just combine with this Na. So I am just making the space vacant. So here it combines with Na. But for this combination, because this is Na and this is Cl negative, right. So for them to combine, what has to happen? it will form NaCl and it will release an electron, because Cl was Cl negative. It was having that negative extra electron. So this Cl will leave its space and will combine with Na, and when it will combine with Na, it will lose an electron, one electron, and that electron will actually travel through the surface and through the crystal, and will occupy the space which is left by the anion. So now that vacant space which was created because the chloride ion just escape or just combined just escape for the sake of Na, so that vacant space is occupied by an electron which was released as a result of the combination. So this electron will somehow occupy that space, and the vacant spaces occupied this electron are somehow called as F centers. We call them as F centers. So this is what we get to see in the anionic vacancy. I think it's clear. Again, I am explaining you. There was a crystal. Again, I heated it, right? So when I heated it, some of the sodium ions just vaporized. Suppose we are considering that few sodium vapors are in contact with the surface of the crystal, right? So when they are in contact with the crystal, Cl negative ions somehow get attracted towards them, and when it gets attracted, it combines to form NaCl, and along with that it releases the electron. So as the Cl negative ion just moved through its place, creating a vacancy, that vacancy was filled by the electron which was released, right? And the vacancy which has the electron, right, is called as F centers. Those vacancies with electron are called as F centers, and these electrons are actually playing a very important role, right? They are just imparting the color to the crystal. Otherwise NaCl appears to be white, but due to this kind of defect, somehow NaCl appears yellow in color. It appears yellow in color. Now why? Because they have electrons, right? So when we are supplying the heat, the electron will get excited to the high energy, and the high energy levels we know they are unstable, so obviously they are going to rotate come back to the ground state. So when they will come back to the ground state, they will just release the energy which they absorbed earlier, right? And that energy, that means the light with particular wavelength and frequency, corresponds to the yellow color. So that is why NaCl showing this defect, that is the anionic vacancy, that is the metal excess defect, is somehow appear to be yellow in color, right? Likewise, this happens in LiCl also. So when it happens in LiCl, again Li vaporize, Cl negative leave its space and go to Li, and that vacant space is filled by the electron. And when we supply more heat, it gets excited, and when it returns, it emit the absorbed energy, and that falls in the region that it gives the color pink. Right, likewise in case of KCl the color is violet. So likewise you get different colors in the ionic crystal when they are showing this kind of defect. So this is the anionic vacancy defect, that is the subtype of metal excess. Now the second is cation vacancy, right? So suppose, that means in this the cation is going to be in excess, that is positive ion will exceed, right? Suppose I have an example of ZnO, I have zinc oxide. So when we heat it, it will become Zn2 positive, half O2, plus it will release 2 electrons, obviously. This half O2 will somehow escape to the atmosphere, that means creating a vacant space, right? And these Zn2 positive will somehow you can say move to the interstitial spaces, and these will occupy the vacant spaces. Right. So again, due to this reason, it will impart a color to the crystal. So again in this case, what we get to see that the metal just exceeded its value and just went into the interstitial space, creating the vacancies, and some of the vacancies of the anions are filled by the electron, and due to the presence of this electron, it is somehow showing the different properties, that is, it is imparting a color to the crystal, right? So this is what is shown when the cation is in excess. So I think it's clear. So the non-stoichiometric defect when the metal in excess is the anionic vacancy, again I think you remember it, and the other is when the cation is in excess. Now our second category is when the metal is deficient. When the metal is deficient, then what is going to happen, right? So suppose I have FeO, right? Do you know that FeO occur in nature in this form? Because we have iron in this form also, and we have this valency also. We have 2 positive valency also, we have 3 positive valencies. So if we just want to equalize the charge, right? So how many 3 positive is going to equalize the 2 positive? So obviously if we want to equalize the suppose 2 Fe3 positive, the total charge, net charge is 6. So it will be equalized with the 3 2 positive Fe ions, because the net charge again becomes 6. Right. So what is going to happen? So in this case, some of the vacant spaces like Fe2 positive will just leave the space there. It is not present somehow, somewhere, and that places are filled by the Fe3 positive. So as you can see that we have to restore the neutrality. I told you that in the crystals we have to restore the neutrality. So in order to restore the neutrality, if 3 Fe2 positive escapes, or if they are not present, that position has to be filled in case of Fe3 positive by only how many Fe3 positive? By 2 Fe3 positive. So again they will be occupying the vacant spaces are 3, but the ions which can occupy this place is only 2. So that means again the one place will left vacant, right. So this is something when the metal is in deficient state, right. So when the metal, again I am telling you, when the metal is in deficient state, it happens when the metal show variable valency. So first of all you need to equalize the charge, as I did, like I told you that 2 Fe3 positive is destabilized by 3 Fe2 positive, right. That means 6 and 6. So if somehow Fe2 positive escape, or if it is not present, then 3 Fe2 positive, if they are leaving their space, those 3 spaces will be filled by only 2 Fe3 positive. That means leaving one Fe3 positive space unoccupied. That will create a vacancy. So this is a irregularity which we are going to see in the case of ionic crystal when the metal is in deficient state. So this all are the imperfections. I think it's clear. So what you do, like my tip for you regarding this topic is that just try to explain these defects with the figures. Just be well versed with the figures. Try to draw this thing, the crystal lattice, and explain in a proper manner, because if you will not draw the crystal lattice, you won't be able to explain your concept, right. So the first thing is that whether you draw it in a 1 dimension, 2 dimension, or 3 dimension, our concern is that your answer should be appropriate, right. That means your answer should be more explanatory. So try to draw it in a better way so that you can explain all these defects in a proper manner.